well, from the job search to the resume to actually landing the job. If you're looking for a new career, there are a lot of things that have definitely changed when it comes to what your future employer may expect. And joining us this morning, Alexia Vernon, who is the author of Awaken Your CAREErpreneur. Good morning.
Thank you for having me,
You're
Tamsen.
wide awake this morning, so that's nice to see. So early in the morning. Well, we've all heard about entrepreneurs, but what's a careerpreneur?
Sure. A careerpreneur is really somebody who fuses best principles of entrepreneurship with best principles of self-empowerment to be able to develop the mindset, the relationships, the skills, and the materials to make career success a way of being, irrespective of what the economy looks like.
All right, so that's the big question. So let's just break it right down. How difficult is it to find work these days?
I think it's really about working smart rather than hard and understanding that there's really new rules to building career success. And once folks know those rules, I've seen people make 2010 their best year yet.
All right, let's try to get through some of those rules, because I think a lot of people feel like it can be really hopeless if they've been looking for a job for the last few years. The first thing you said that's critical when it comes to finding work: get out from behind your computer screen, which I find interesting because I would think you'd want to be there all the time, seeing what's new and what's updated.
I've seen a lot of really well-intentioned job seekers just spend too much time online, whether it's looking for or applying for jobs. 90% of jobs are achieved through networking, and one's network is every person that they've ever met, as well as every person that all of those people have ever met. So there's certainly utility to being on LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and connecting, but our most meaningful relationships are actually going to be those that we build face-to-face. So I always recommend making sure that folks actually get out there, and whether it's having lunch and dinner with people or going to business and networking and professional association meetings, building connections that way as well.
The old-fashioned networking still works. All right, know what your prospective employers most want.
Yes. So it's lovely to be able to present yourself as the greatest thing since smartphones or food trucks. Yet it's more important to really be able to understand what are the specific solutions that your prospective employer wants, and to be able to create a narrative of yourself that matches that.
Okay. And then you said highlight your wow factor. So what's your wow factor?
Sure. So if I was to call your former supervisor, Tamsen, or colleagues, or even your husband, and ask what really makes you special, chances are they would say a variety of different things, but there would probably be at least three that are in common.
Okay.
Those three things compose your wow factor, and you want to think about that every time you open your mouth, every time you put together a resume or a cover letter, because that's what's really going to enable you to stick out among the other people.
And sometimes people don't have confidence, so maybe you look to somebody else and say, what is my wow factor?
Absolutely, and you want to ask so that you make sure that your impressions are really what other people think as well.
Yeah, you don't think too much of yourself all at once. Or you say be curious. What does that mean when it comes to a job search?
Yes, so employers can sniff desperation the way New Yorkers can sniff sewage on a rainy day. And one of the ways to really get around that is making sure you have a keen understanding of what that company's about, both your position as well as the culture, the mission, the responsibilities you would have, and use that information to be asking questions that show you have that understanding. So for example, if you know your company just set up a great corporate social responsibility program, you might then use that information to ask a question such as, what are opportunities for folks in this company to be able to volunteer?
Okay, and then finally you say show you'll be a positive employee. I always find that so hard to do, because you don't want to sound like you're just giving them a generic line when you're sitting in their office.
Absolutely. With that said, though, folks want to remember that employers are really looking for people who can shift challenges into opportunities. So if you're showing up with a positive mindset, you're presenting yourself as somebody who sees possibilities irrespective of what the landscape looks like.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks for getting up early with us this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Good information. For more advice on how to land a new job or change your career altogether, head on over to our website, WPIX.com/morning news. For all the details, you'll find them right there. Craig will send it over to you.